just too much fun. I'm sorry, maybe it bores everyone else, but it doesn't matter because I'm having fun. This El Salvadorian president visit yesterday was just a delight. I want more of him. I want him and Trump to travel, do like a global world, like a stage play. They're like the new Martin and Lewis of politics. This is a much more enjoyable guy than that damned Zelensky from Ukraine. This is a global leader you can get behind. This guy's tough as nails. I love what he said. Listen to him talk about what he's doing about cracking down on crime in his country. In 1518, and Trump just loves it. Trump's sitting back just enjoying as Bukele regales the press with how he's cracking down on crime in his country. And, by the way, supporting Trump 100% what he's trying to do here. 1518, take a listen.
And we're very eager to help. We know that you have a crime problem, a terrorism problem that you need help with. And we're a small country, but if we can help, we will do it. And we actually turned the murder capital of the world, that was the journalists call it, right? Murder capital of the world, into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. And, sometimes they say that we imprisoned thousands. I like to say that we actually liberated millions. So,
it's very good. Who gave him that line? Do you think I can use that?
Yes. And in fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. Yeah. But to liberate 350 million people, you have to imprison some. That's the way it works, right? You cannot just, free the criminals and think crime's going to go down magically. You have to imprison them so you can liberate 350 million Americans that are asking for the end of crime and the end of terrorism. And it can be done. You're doing it already. And I'm sure that people have seen the change in the streets. A long way to go because you're just initiating your second term. But it's clear that, with the numbers at the border, even in Democrat-run cities, they get a help from the work you're doing. So I'm really happy to be here, honored, and eager to help.
Trump just loves it. Trump, he says, you have to jail a few thousand to liberate 350 million. Trump leans in. I like that. Who gave him that line? Can I use that line? But this is just common sense. Everyone understands it's common sense. This is what Trump ran on. This is why Trump won. Nobody disputes this. And to listen to the left, if you get on social media, you will think, because it's Pavlovian with these people. If Trump's doing it, it's wrong, it's vicious, it's evil. Eric Holder said over the weekend that this is like 1930s Europe. We're running around just rounding up people indiscriminately. Not true. We're rounding up illegal aliens. I even heard this morning on a report from the Washington Examiner. Not picking on them because they ultimately ended up getting the facts right on it, but the story was something like, the Trump administration's really cracking down hard on these campus kids or these people that are here on visas that are involved in, pro-Hamas protests and revoking their visas. And get this, you're going to love this. The whole underlying theme of the story was, what are colleges going to do if enrollment starts to drop and funding starts to dry up? Oh, no. Not college enrollment numbers dropping. We're supposed to judge whether or not someone ought to be deported as to whether or not the college or university they're attending is shaky on enrollment numbers now? All these outside considerations. Maryland man, what about the university populations? Bukele, you have to jail a few thousand thugs to protect and liberate 350 million people, Mr. President. Trump just smiles and looks at Bondi. Here's some more of Trump answering some of these questions yesterday. 1521. Take a listen.
You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens but are criminals to El Salvador. Does that include potentially U.S. citizens, fully naturalized Americans?
If they're criminals and if they hit people with baseball bats over their head that happen to be 90 years old, and if they rape 87-year-old women in Coney Island, Brooklyn, Yeah, that includes them. What, do you think there's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones, too. And I'm all for it. Because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security. And we have a huge prison population. We have a huge number of prisons, and then we have the private prisons, and some are operated well, I guess, and some aren't. But he does a great job with that. We have others that we're negotiating with too. But no, if it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now, we're studying the laws right now. Pam is studying. If we can do that, that's good. And I'm talking about violent people. I'm talking about really bad people. Really bad people. Every bit as bad as the ones coming in. And I made the statement when I heard about this a long time ago now, 4 years ago. When I heard that this guy was having open borders, I said every single criminal from all over the world is going to be dumped into our country. And that's what happened. The jails of the Congo were emptied out. The jails of Venezuela were emptied out. And you know what happened? Their crime went way down. But now Venezuela has other problems. You know what the problem is? They have no money.
Yeah.
Because I shut off their oil and we put secondary tariffs because they're not doing what's right over there. They know what to do. We spoke to them. I spoke to them. They know what to do. But they have no money. Venezuela has no money.
It's undeniably true that the American people elected Donald Trump, largely top shelf issue, this one. And, you know, Brit Hume said so over on Fox yesterday. He concurs. I'm glad to hear it. He should. This is an unmistakable success. The American people are with Trump on this. No matter what you think of the economy and tariffs and everything else on this, if you've broken into this country and you talk to any legal citizen of this country, no matter their skin color, no matter their gender, no matter their sexuality, if you talk to anyone who is either a legal citizen of the United States or is at present going through all the legal channels to become a full-fledged American citizen, they are more angry and indignant about this than any of us who have been blessed to just be born here on this soil. You talk to anyone. I have not, this is a bold statement, but I know I'm right about this. I have not met a single citizen of the United States who became a citizen of the United States through all the proper legal channels who has ever said they are anything but 100% supportive of what Trump is doing here. Now, if you have ever heard of anybody who has paid the tens of thousands of dollars and gone through the years of work to become a legal American citizen, if you know of anyone, or you yourself or someone, who takes offense at Donald Trump tackling the illegal alien problem in this country, please let your voice be heard. You're free to jump in and call me. You'll go right to the front of the line. I have not heard one person who's gone through the rigors of trying to become an American citizen say anything but glowing praise about Donald Trump's enforcement of the border and booting out people who broke into the country illegally. Here's a little bit of Hume, 1529 from last night.
The politics of this are pretty clear. The administration is succeeding broadly. The southern border is, as an entry point, has been reduced to a mere trickle. That's a unmistakable success of this administration, done without any of the new laws that the Biden administration said it would have to do that. And so I think, and it's also popular. The public wants illegal immigration stopped, halted, and they're worried about the immigrants that are already here, and the administration is trying to get rid of them. On political terms, I think it's a huge winner for the administration. There may be some friction with the courts right at the moment, but politically speaking, he's got the high ground right now on this issue.
Oh no, the left thinks they've got the high ground. Democrats think they're rolling in it here. A Senate Democrat announced plans to travel to El Salvador later this week if they don't bring this guy back. Chris Van Hollen, another Maryland man, the Democrat senator from Maryland, Maryland man to Maryland man. He's going to fly himself down to El Salvador. He issued a statement yesterday, an ultimatum, expressing his desire to speak with El Salvador's President Bukele. Kilmar Abrego Garcia should never have been abducted and illegally deported. Abducted and illegally. Do you follow this? we illegally deported an illegal alien back to his rightful country of residence. You follow? The Democrat position is an El Salvador citizen breaks into the United States, is detained in the United States, and sent back to El Salvador, and we have abducted and illegally deported a Maryland man or some such thing. So Van Hollen thinks he's going to make political hay by going down to El Salvador. Careful, Van Hollen. You may end up on the other side of those bars with the rest of Tren de Aragua. You can show them what Maryland hospitality is all about.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.